You pick up your phone. You don't remember deciding to. There's no notification, no buzz, no reason. Your thumb just moves, unlocks the screen, and starts scrolling. You put it down 30 seconds later and can't tell anyone what you just looked at. This happens to you dozens of times a day, maybe hundreds, and you've probably blamed yourself for it. Weak willpower, bad habits, too much screen time. But the real answer is far stranger. The urge you just felt is not new. It's not even from this century. It's 2 million years old, and it didn't evolve for a glowing rectangle in your pocket. It evolved for a bush. Picture an early human walking across the African savanna. She's hungry. She spots a berry bush in the distance. She doesn't know what's on it. Maybe it's loaded with fruit. Maybe it's empty. Maybe something already stripped it bare. She has to walk over and check. That single act, walking toward uncertainty to see what's there, kept her species alive for hundreds of thousands of years. Your ancestors who were good at checking survived. The ones who weren't curious enough starved. Now here's the part that explains your phone. The brain doesn't release its reward chemical, dopamine, when you find the berries. It releases dopamine when you don't know if the berries are there. The chemical rush isn't about the reward itself, it's about the search for it. This was proven, almost by accident, in a lab in the 1990s. Neuroscientist Wolfram Schultz was recording dopamine activity in the brains of monkeys, while they learned to expect a juice reward after a specific cue. At first, the dopamine spiked when the juice arrived. That made sense. Reward equals pleasure equals dopamine. But as the monkeys learned the pattern, something shifted. The dopamine spike moved. It stopped firing when the juice showed up. Instead, it fired the moment the cue appeared, the moment that signaled a reward might be coming. The anticipation had become more powerful than the reward itself. Then Schultz did something crucial. He started giving the juice unpredictably, sometimes after the cue, sometimes not. And the dopamine response didn't fade. It spiked even higher. The uncertainty itself was the trigger. Does that sound familiar yet? Every time you check your phone, you don't know what's waiting. Maybe a message, maybe nothing, maybe 100 notifications. Your brain doesn't know, and that not knowing is exactly what your dopamine system evolved to chase. This effect has a name in behavioral science. B.F. Skinner discovered it decades before smartphones existed. In the 1950s, Skinner ran experiments with pigeons and levers. When a lever released food every single time it was pressed, the pigeons pressed it calmly, only when hungry. Predictable, manageable. But when Skinner changed the reward to appear randomly, sometimes after one press, sometimes after 20, something changed in the pigeons' behavior. They didn't press the lever less. They pressed it obsessively, compulsively. Skinner called it a variable ratio reinforcement schedule, and it produced the most persistent, addictive behavior he had ever recorded in an animal. A guaranteed reward barely holds attention. An uncertain one hijacks it completely. Your phone runs on the exact same schedule as Skinner's lever. You don't know if refreshing your feed will show you something interesting or nothing at all. You don't know if that message notification is important or spam. Every unlock is a pull of the lever. Every scroll is a walk toward a bush that might or might not have berries. This is not a coincidence. It's not even subtle once you know what to look for. The people who designed these apps studied the same research you're hearing right now. Variable reward isn't a side effect of your phone, it's the engine underneath it. Here's where it gets even stranger. Researcher Kent Berridge, working out of the University of Michigan, spent years untangling something psychologists had confused for decades: the difference between wanting something and liking something. Using rats and precise brain mapping, Berridge showed that the brain has two separate systems. One drives desire, the other drives enjoyment, and they don't always agree. You can want something intensely, feel pulled toward it, feel the itch to check it, without actually enjoying it once you get there. That's why you can put your phone down after scrolling for 20 minutes and feel worse, not better. The wanting system did its job perfectly. It pulled you in. The liking system just never got activated. Your ancestor checking the berry bush had it easier. If the bush was empty, she knew instantly and moved on. Your phone never gives you that closure. There's always another post below the one you just saw. Another bush around the next corner. The savannah never ends because someone built it that way on purpose. Think about how deep this goes. For nearly the entire history of your species,